Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage Hand Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobold or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with Dark Mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by R. Talsorian Games. R. Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut. Good evening. Apologies for the quality of my camera. I will try to get that fixed during the game. But let's talk about condition of hospitality. Kindred are old creatures. Such have sometimes antiquated belief. They may have learned and lived under certain laws back in. As the sands of time rode their ancient mutate laws into what is of these so universal, even anarch licks and not follow them, though they might not agree with them. One such tradition, hospitality, is at the heart of our conflicts. How will our not just the country, how will our kindred guard or disregard pillar empire polite society? Are our players House of I am Simon at Wondering. Now, our story.
That transition didn't work. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to tonight's fourth episode of our second of Vampire the Masquerade Montreal by Night. As I said before, I am Simon at Wandering DM. I use he pronouns. Back with our coterie up here. Let's just let them themselves extreme right this time. But as in extreme right on the overlay.
Sure. I see how it is.
The old Timothy from Florida.
Wow.
Wow. Thing is,
Simon.
Whilst descended from tyrants, authoritarianism really sticks in my craw. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. It's great to be back with the vampire crew here in Montreal by night. I get to play Arthur Porter. Both of us use he, him pronouns. And society is made of laws, agreements. It is important to remind everyone of those laws, agreements, and consequences for violating those. We'll see if that happens tonight.
Up next, the middle of the overlay, Lori.
Hey everybody. Welcome back. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax at Deirdre on Twitter, or Praxagorethesmia for you is to see me around here on Twitch. And I get to play a wonderful, wonderful Ravnos art repatriationist, murder for hire, assassin. I mean, but in her, she's in the tax bracket of assassin, not just murder for hire. And Ravnos, who is here to see what interesting things can happen, and also to show up that bitch who apparently some little princeling thinks is going to be herald of the city. That ain't happening. I'm better dressed and better looking. All of these things are true statements. And we both use she, her pronouns, and I'm here to have all the fun.
And last but not least, to the left of the overlay, and probably of the spectrum of kindred anyway.
Oh, Flurry.
I don't think Flurry's on the spectrum.
I'm Trooper SJP, and I will be playing Lucky. That's all of the name you need to know. Our friendly neighborhood Brujah. And someone said that societies are made up of laws. Interesting. Depends. And then whose laws? And then do they really apply to you? To whom else? Who gets to decide? And what if we decide we don't like them? And what is that all about? We'll find out, I suppose. All I'm going to say is that there are two parties going on right now. One of them is full of really angry, violent anarchs, and one of them is full of fancy people. And I bet there'll be more violence in the fancy people party. That's my current bet. That's my current bet. I can't say for certain, but that's me. Also, what are these traditions? I don't suppose I need to know about them. What could go wrong? Go ahead.
You know of a few anyway. You just know them under a different name.
Yes.
And that's the thing about game.
Different names.
Different names for different people. Different gangs and cliques. Y'all. This. Chaotic city. Unruly, perhaps even unrulable. Probably ask that. But what occurred weeks now great new mini appearing in Montreal. And among these were a handful of Camarilla vampires, kindred who, according to what newly minted Sheriff Caleb discovered, due to some ancient bylaws, New France belongs to the French crown. And so the kindred holding France, it's old and archaic, an older law, but it checks out. So a bunch of vampires step into. Well, I mean, no one's closed. A windmill. Go in and out. Set it on fire. No one's gonna say anything. That said, the arrival of
Carpetbaggers?
stuck-up aristocratic elite did not please a good portion of the population of Montreal, and now we have two nights complete different Elysium. Let's go with Elysium. On the one hand, at the Olympic Stadium, we have a gathering of rebels and rabbles in a locker room, gathered around a mini fridge with cold, almost congealed blood that, like the Coors Light of. And then further downtown, west of the Olympic Stadium, in the Museum of Fine Arts, we find the high society. The Marilla. New rightful. I would like to know, friends. Start with. Which side of the island?
Elysium.
All right.
Fancy one.
Let's go to the Elysium. Now, I'll remind you, the place was surrounded by this private security firm. And inside, in a very specific wing, basically the wing of local art, I got the Claire and Mark Billion. Is where you have the Quebec and Canadian art. A room in the back, actually. Few rooms back have where the held. I have put in chat our link to our Legend Keeper. Those of you who have missed last week's session or are watching a VOD or anything, have a Legend Keeper. I think description. But go through Kindred present at the museum. Betty, Duhamel, blonde, Toreador, early 40s, dressed in I think
No, the term you're looking for is WASP interpretation of boho chic.
I was going to say colorful British nanny.
No, she's going for wasp interpretation of boho chic, and she's failing utterly.
Again, the court of the rose has many flowers, some of them impersonations of a rose.
Yeah, well.
Betty is one of those.
Then we have, of course, Prince Martin Hilkers. Proper, well-dressed, adorned with golden jewelry, basically rings, a pocket watch, eye pin. Doesn't seem like the type of person, at first glance tonight, while he is the center of attention, ending. That would be another person, more reserved, black-haired, dressed simply in a black dress, silver. Next to our prince, we have a bald, tall, lanky gentleman, fine, black and red. Then we have a black man in his 30s. Well, embraced in his 30s. Very short hair, scraggly beard, dressed in, I will say, conservative colors for the East, but clearly did not get the memo or did not care enough to dress up for the occasion. Kind of the same as the twin sisters. Two kindred who look very much alike. One of them has bright pink hair, the other one black. Wearing both of them leather jackets. One of them wears it long, like a French coat, the other one cycle riding jacket. Got chokers. Very, very early 2000 goth scene. There is a figure in another room. That I believe you know the name of. Same thing you saw flying in the sky. All of you. Lock, gargoyle. Though remaining out of sight for the most part, the large, imposing statue's shadow is cast across the floor. That its presence is. Then we have Caleb Duval, Sheriff Nosferatu Parisi. Veins. Long black coat. Dressed like a goth. And with him, aside from the two sisters, there's also the younger gentleman. Didn't seem to speak. Reserved.
I mean, technically, Flory hasn't entered yet. He wasn't speaking to Arthur.
Oh, to Arthur. My bad, to Arthur. Jimmy Smite. We also have Lydia Moscato, the femme fatale, the Malkavian. Not much is known about her. She picture a fan of 1950 noir detectives.
So late noir.
Late noir, yeah.
So past prime. That makes me feel ill.
That would probably be my fault. Put it a bit further back. Like
You want ideal?
Maltese Falcon.
Maltese Falcon, the third
There it
man.
is.
Okay. That's
Sam Spade.
late. That you're looking at the 40s, my friend.
40s. My bad.
And for when the movies came out, the books came out earlier.
And then we have, of course, Diana St. Laurent, keeper of another location, Elysium. Another rose.
Oh, an actual one.
Have Ori, Arthur. I believe when we ended last time, Arthur had asked right before that, when should present our gifts, Prince. But apparently, the Prince Ilkers has announcement to make. Ceremony of gift giving, but not for now. Now we not for now. I would like to know, Kim, dance partner. What do you?
So I think this is the point, because we ended with Flory walking towards these halls, and Flory is going to drop awe when she's within 5 feet of the door of the gallery that the Elysium is in. Because the rules say you can't use disciplines in Elysium. Say nothing about how, up to the doorstep at all. Which leads mechanically, I have a question mechanically, GM. Does that include Silence of Death? Because that's a passive that she doesn't actually control.
Yes, you do control your passives.
Okay,
Decide
so
if you want to use.
Okay,
If
so in that
someone
case,
notices,
yeah.
I mean, it's not the most egregious.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those. She would know that, and if the rules are like, that's why I was asking about that control there. If that's the case, then that's the letter of the law is she drops Silence of Death as she steps over the threshold, and it's the first thing you will hear from her is the heels for these Ferragamo boots, little booties striking the tile floor of this gallery. Or no, it's hardwood floor of this gallery. I did look it up.
It is hard.
And she looks better than almost every other female presenting individual in this space, and 90% of the male presenting individuals in this space, because she went to effort. And I don't know what the hell Betty's wearing, but it's not A, fit to her, or B, good.
Not everyone in this room has a friend with 5 points.
I would like to point out that Flory has 3 points in resources. She doesn't need a friend with 5. She has her own. It just happens to be that she committed a murder for pay just before she went shopping.
Lucky has 1 point in resources.
There we go.
Yeah, most of the people here.
You don't need.
Well, no, make a. Give me a second. That would be in. Oh.
Are you thinking fashion or finance, friend?
It's a mix of both. That's why I'm hesitating. But I think I would go.
That would be politics, because that is the catch-all.
Yes, but not when you talk about object value of.
Oh,
Which is why I'm art. But here's what we're gonna do. Flory.
Mm-hmm.
You roll just straight intelligence and wit together.
Intelligence and wits. Okay.
I don't think the game is going to allow that, but
No, I think it will actually. I just need to do it in the right order. And do I get my +2 from my pre-game rolls for social?
In this case,
setup?
not really, because it's
Okay.
a mental thing. It really is just.
No, that's entirely fair. I was just checking.
Yeah. Because that's literally why the rolls you're checking. 2 successes.
Two
out of 2.
successes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that Asian American woman.
Yeah, I said most of the women
Yeah.
here.
You think you recognize necklace?
Okay, now this is as she's walking and kind of scanning the room. And again, Flory went shopping to look good. She's wearing Alexander McQueen and Salvatore Ferragamo. She is making a statement, and that statement is, I have money, I have class, and I have art taste. Because that's an important distinction. I'm going to an art gallery. I'm going to look like I belong at an art gallery. So does she recognize that necklace that she's wearing as a historical art piece or as a designer?
No, historical.
Oh, okay.
It is one of the many.
Is it one that's on one of her lists to reappropriate to the original owners, or is it in the hands of an original owner?
Well, I mean, the original owner is probably dead, considering that it was part of the treasure trove of Captain Qingxi.
Oh, well, it's pirate gold, but it's Chinese pirate gold. And that gets really complicated. And so, I could return it to the Indonesians, but they're still dealing with Chinese issues. And there's always that problem. So right now, she's not going to steal it.
But it is, like, it's not a production. Because you can even see, even from a distance, yes, it's been polished in some way, but it still bears, like, the marks of time.
Yeah, it's a good cleaning and polishing of your jewelry will still leave where it rubs along the neckline, the skin, the oils will develop. All of these things are true. Polish your jewelry, people. But so she's going to make a point of clicking the heel just a little bit more as she steps into the room. As she turns off Silence of Death, is that level of now intentionally walking heel toe in front, that if you were looking at the guy who was flirting with her from behind actually continued to stare at her, her hips are now sashaying because of the way she's walking down this hall. And now she's got a timer, she's got a countdown clock going in her head as she walks into this space, by the way.
Okay, what happens when it gets to Europe?
Oh, it's not going to see, it's not, I shouldn't say a countdown, it's a count up. She's waiting to see how long it takes Betty to open her mouth.
When you come in, kind of what happened with Arthur, where Betty just turned around to look at this came in, except that in this instance, instead of turning around and more or less announcing who coming in, Betty just taps Prince lightly on the forearm at you. Shulkers turns around, arms open. An anomaly in Most Elysium. No, dear nomad, that you are welcome at my... I've heard. He looks very briefly at Betty through the corner of his eye. Heard quite a lot about you. I have to say, I am curious.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm surprised that you heard anything from me. I didn't hear myself announced, so I didn't know you had selected a herald. But these things can be a struggle when you're trying to set up far from home, I understand.
The answer is almost when you say herald, partly drowning out your sentence, as he says, I have not chosen a herald yet. Let us treat tonight as the beginning of a great many.
Intriguing. It'll be interesting to see how you compare with Paris. I love Paris. Welcome to Montreal.
And then he turns around as if,
Oh yeah, she's not
almost.
She's,
yeah, no, go ahead.
She's moving away as she says that.
Yeah, he's like, it feels like, okay, I have spent 3 minutes with someone. My 3 minutes are up. time to just move on to the next item point down the list. Very much acts very much like a politician at a fundraiser, where he's going to, shake hands for a certain amount of time with each major donor, not really pay attention to the others, maybe from time to time just let one approach and bask in his presence.
Can I make a roll as she starts to, like, at the same time as this conversation was going on? What is Betty's facial expression when he says he hasn't selected a herald yet?
It's going to be an opposed roll.
Okay. But would this also count her?
Yes, you would have your bonus. Yeah.
What, manipulation insight?
3. That would be manipulation yeah, manip insight.
What the heck is going on? Hold please. I just lost my, there we go. Crit.
A lot of 6.
6.
She is of marble. Anyone who is either unfazed by the prince, unamused, but not in a unsurprised by the she is the herald announced it. However, there is a crack in the marble. There is a slight crack of, up until today, I was 99%. But last 3 minutes of that 1%. Very important.
I would also like to point out 2 things just for GM knowledge. Flory is only speaking French.
Okay. Vilkers would have spoken to you.
Yeah, that's fair. But Flory is only going to respond in French.
He seems to understand, but doesn't.
Yeah, he's speaking in English, which is fair.
I have to remind myself sometimes that, okay, wait, some of these people don't speak.
No, but she is entirely.
They would love you right now at the Olympic Stadium.
As she turns away, she kind of she's got the clutch in her hand, and she's like pulls out her phone and is like just like she had gotten a text message or something, and she's going to text 2 people. One, she's going to text Flory and go, "Oh my God, this party! Why are you not here?" Folly. Flory is texting Folly. Sorry, I did.
So many F names.
So many F names that sound very, very similar. FL, yeah. Or Flory and Folly, yeah. So she's going to text Folly and be like, "This party, oh my God, it needs you. So much does it need you." And then she's going to text Lucky, because she doesn't know that Lucky isn't coming, and be like, "Hey, where are you at? Why are you missing Elysium?" And then she's gonna saunter intentionally as she walks away, just a little bit extra, Not for the prince, right? She doesn't care about
He
Hilkers.
doesn't even look at you,
No,
but I
he's
know
not
who you're
caring.
doing it for.
Yeah, she's doing it for Betty.
And
Her ass looks 10 times better than Betty's.
yeah, Betty doesn't show curves, except her bob cut.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not a curve. That's just a circle. And
By the
I
way,
don't judge.
I just relayed your text
Mhm.
to Lindy, so she now knows what Flory just texted
Oh, thank
her.
you. I
I'm just-
appreciate that.
You're welcome. I just so you know, I'm here. If you text
mean,
her,
Like, I should text her myself. Like, that's fine. But yeah, so she's and then she'll saunter over because now it's, oh, there's no herald. I don't need to greet the herald. Then I'm just gonna go talk to the next person that I talk to is the sheriff.
By Caleb,
Mhm.
of Arthur. Caleb sees you approach.
Monsieur Duval, a pleasure as always.
The title your fly anymore.
Oh, that is right. You've been promoted. I wasn't sure because, other people's
It
the
has
con
not
the
been,
court hadn't been confirmed.
It has not been announced publicly or privy to. Confidentially.
Oh.
That said, I am active.
Of course. And you're doing a fine job. One quick question. Did you align the security? It didn't seem like your usual standards.
People that are here are not here. Camouflage. Ask to buy the music. Is not in the habit of fine arts. His Highness had the most in oldest gallery that celebrate and like to his credit or perhaps to his creepiness, there is no inflection. Simon trying real hard not to sound sarcastic because I don't like that place. Not the museum, the Elysium.
No,
But Caleb does not show anything. He might fully agree, he might fully disagree. Anywhere in between. It is. If it was hard to see through Betty, it is impossible.
Oh, she's not even going to try. It's not about, in the moment, it's not about Caleb. But does she get the impression from that statement that he did hire the guards that are here?
Yes, he hired the security, but they do not act as.
No, I understand, but he did. Okay.
Yeah.
She's just making notes. It's important things that are happening. But then she'll turn to Artie and greet Artie. Wait, she knows if Artie speaks French or not, correct?
He speaks enough to get by, but the things that he is truly fluent in, aside from English, is Venetian, Italian.
There's just
Venetian.
a very important distinction that those are two different languages.
Weren't they two different countries as well?
Well, Italy isn't a country until the middle of the 19th century, middle end of the 19th century, so don't consider Italy a country. it is, but anyways, so Flory will do the formal greeting in French, and then just kind of like, say hello, do the greeting in French, know that you don't speak French. So she drops a couple words of cant, but not enough that Caleb would really distinguish it from actual spoken French beyond just like maybe a dialectical change, right? To say she's going to do a little walk around and
Again, he will, by all means, enjoy yourself.
She's going shopping, but she's first going to go find a new friend of a stone variety.
Do you mean the statue called Despair in the
No.
Death?
This one's more active.
It's got wings and claws.
Was the main character
a badass cartoon series in Saturday mornings?
Hey, if you want this character to be voiced by Keith David, I am here for it.
Can we have this character voiced by Keith David?
Keith David is to me Spawn forever.
Keith David for me is 3 characters. I adore him. He has done much, much more work. He is 3.
Yeah. Iconic voice. But all that to say, that is not how Locke sounds. I have a question. Do you walk with Shadow, or do you go around the other room?
Through whose Shadow? Locke's or...
Locke's.
So Locke's shadow is like displayed across a hallway under a threshold. Do you go through that threshold, or do you go around side? Because imagine it's like a big square.
Yeah, it's a gallery, so that there are 4 rooms that are interconnected and there are 4 doors. And he's in one, like say the northeast quadrant, and the shadow that he goes across.
Yeah, like
the northwest
basically
conduit.
if I draw a map there, imagine. Oh, I cannot draw straight lines. Imagine those are your 4 rooms, and his shadow is sort of cast over here, or here. He is in the, let's say, top right quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
But do you go from bottom right to top right? Wow.
See, Flory would know, because Flory has points in occult, and she is superstitious in the right ways, right? She's not going to cross the shadow of a gargoyle. She's not going to impede his line of sight, because she knows 2 things. 1, the gargoyle is on guard and always watching, and 2, you can't lie in the sight of a gargoyle. Whether these are true statements or not doesn't actually matter. These are the superstitions that are tied to these beings that she knows.
And so
she would like make polite excuses with Caleb. Is like, oh, and then she'll like snap as she walks away. Is like, oh, I also dealt with that as a problem. We should talk about that later. As she walks away from Caleb, because she doesn't know anything about things, and she's going to look at Locke, make brief eye contact, and then intentionally go around, because Locke is technically the guard for the princeling, right? So she's not going to impede his line of sight in a professional capacity. That would be really not nice from a hired assassin, that multiple people know she's a hired assassin. Yes, I'm going to walk in between the line of sight of the bodyguard and the protectee as a known assassin. Ooh, she's not that.
When you approach, actually, when you enter, you cross the threshold. There, Locke, gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
You notice just how gargoyle. In fact, the wings really would not surprise. Even if it wasn't made of stone or anything, it doesn't have the wingspan
Mm-hmm.
that, like, it doesn't respect the ratio. He is perpetually hunched, to the point where his head is basically always almost at the same level as his shoulder. Without seeing the head right now, you notice back, lower back, there is a chipped off circle of stone. Like there was something roughly back then.
Would
Now,
she know?
I would require like a let's say difficulty 4, int.
Okay. I don't. Yeah. Oh, I rolled the wrong thing, but I still failed. It's fine.
You know of their existence,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't really know what they're like. Do they possess this generative quality? Are they different in you? Because you can permanently disfigure a vampire,
Mm-hmm.
tear their arm off, save from certain bloodlines, not going to grow back.
I mean, Vargas. Look, you could have fixed that.
I don't know if
Okay.
they have. In fact, you know if, like, their hardiness. Don't even know if they can hear it.
No, sorry, I should have asked this as more clarified. Would she know that that where that was would have been the symbol of ownership?
Oh, no, that would be a tail.
Oh, okay, the tail. Sorry, I'm misunderstanding.
My bad. He doesn't seem to bear any brand. At
Okay.
least on the back, on the outside of that doesn't, like, it doesn't bear anything. There are a few marks though, like scratches or, I mean, like sword blows, if you stone.
Mm-hmm.
Something fine, something blade-like, could be axe, could be claws, could be myriad of things. They look more like combat scars than it.
Okay. She would, as she comes around to approach him, she's walking more normally, right? She's not using sensuality. She's not drawing attention to her figure. She is approaching him in
Do you not want to seduce the giant rock?
she doesn't want to insult him.
He hears you, definitely, but go ahead.
Yeah, and she would, in Arabic, stop like within his line of sight and within like 5 feet, is like, in Arabic, greet him, welcome, cousin.
He turns slowly. You notice that the way he keeps a certain distance from the wall, from the pedestal. a distance greater than the wings.
Mm-hmm.
Pivots slowly on himself. You notice that very little noise.
Mhm.
Not supernaturally,
Just
but just for something that probably weighs a ton and a half. Surprisingly light on it. The face, the head, gargoyle. Fang-filled, grimacing mouth. If he was to appear like a regular gargoyle, he wouldn't be one of those smiling gargoyles. It's the one that, pulls their tongue, that leers at people. It even has almost a... For those of us who played a certain role-playing, the Pathfinder Goblin kind of head shape. Elongated on the sides, big, wide. A big brow turns to you. What?
she switches to English. Greetings, cousin. She is purposely avoiding French when speaking to Locke.
Greeting.
Yes, but I came to say hello to you. It's rare that we get a friend and a cousin that comes to this continent.
I know.
All travelers know each other. But I am Flory.
I'm Locke. I'm new here. I'm not in. Talk to master. Pay more. Sid points back to
Wait, he said his name. He said his master's name is Sid?
Yeah, ironically, I know. I didn't get to choose that name.
Okay. He points at Ackers or someone else.
He points at
No.
the room.
Pinkler. He points at the group?
At the room.
At the room.
Because he's facing you.
Yeah.
It would take a bit of time for him to turn around and
yeah,
point to the exact person, so he just motions to the room. Actually, he motions to the threshold.
Your employer is not the prince, then?
And I am in the service. Not their clan. I am in Magus Sid Pyramid. I just watch.
There's a bunch of thoughts going through her head. Number one of which, now there's a Magus in this freaking city. Oh, fuck this asshole. Sorry. She goes,
There were already Magi in the city.
no, this is true, but not one. They're officially, there were other things going on. It's like, and did you did this Magus employ you after the liberation? Oh yeah, she's going there.
Want to know my...
I may have had the opportunity to arrange different people to leave different cities for various purposes, and then arrange certain unfortunate accidents for people who didn't agree with people's liberation. I just need to check, you know.
I serve Magus Master countless by go on. I have a room. I enjoy some liberty. All the liberty. I'm fed whenever I need change, watch my bricks.
Hey, Simon. Do you know what her second conviction is?
Probably the reason why I put Gargoyle in the game in the...
Probably. I figured.
Is y'all have convictions and such that, you know,
Yeah.
I need to sort of generate conflict.
Mhm.
And this is an interesting one.
Yes.
Because it would be so easy, or so easier, if it was more clean cut.
But at the same time, her phrasing for her conviction is there's 1,001 ways to be a slave, but there are 5,001 ways to be free. So, having had similar conversations with people before, is you're an employer in the city then?
Yes. Everyone.
No. That's where everyone powerful is. Not everyone interesting. I am not in that room, therefore not everyone interesting is in the room. You're not in the room, therefore not everyone interesting is in the room.
I don't think I follow. I think...
A compliment to you.
Yes. He taps his head. Pardon my...
Some of the things I love most in the world are made of rocks. They shine. Or they don't. But they provide value and beauty. And history.
breaks.
I kill people for a living. It's not that big a deal.
Rather
You know, my friend.
was a compliment. You being polite.
A language
might have-
clarification.
I might have to break you.
Oh,
one
no.
day.
And
Rather,
No, I understand. Let me explain. In my culture, you have friends. You have people you know. And then you have people that you murder. Now, friends might shift to people you know. But always is better to start as friends and see how wide the world can grow. But you are busy and at work, and I do not wish to impede on you when you are at work. And I understand how difficult it is to get a good job these days, full paying rates. Honestly, my car takes so much money. The capitalism, you understand correctly.
No, I don't participate.
No, you don't actively participate in capitalism. You just passively participate. Unfortunately, everybody participates. It was either this or serfdom, and I really hated feudalism.
Was abolished by my
That's what the people tell you, but it really wasn't. At least not all over the world. And like she gets this look on her face that's almost like she's going through a memory and just shakes her head slightly. But you are working, and I understand how important it is to not be distracted while you are working. But if you have the opportunity, I would love to have a moment when you are free and in your capacity as a tourist of this fine city, to talk to you about a piece of art that I think you will like. But here, and she'll take out her business card, which is probably like one of the few things that's in her clutch, right? This beautiful clutch that's got these rings that really could double as a brass knuckle. And she'll take out her card and will lick the end of it and hand it to him.
takes it. I'm
Stick it on your arm. That way you won't lose it. That's why she licked it.
He's going to stare at his arm for a good long while.
She'll wait.
Not fallen yet.
No, not yet. Hopefully it won't fall for a while. But this way you know. And we can talk. I always like to talk to new friends. By the way, you do a superb job, sir. Oh, I shouldn't assume. Have you chosen pronouns?
I'm not do job. I'm not this way. I was life. And and he looks down at like his naked form. Black identity. I'm just luck.
I would like to point out that castrati are still men. Also, physical character. Huh?
Simon can do a voice that low, but imagine it's a voice that low.
No, what she's saying is like, physical characteristics are just superfluous. It's what you choose, and you know, if you choose to not be anything, that's also a choice.
I often break stuff.
Very good. Have you broken any vaults? How about tungsten?
Are you a cop?
No. I murder people for a living.
It is.
A very good one.
I am not at liberty. This I accomplish.
That just means that we need to find a better way of getting you recognized for your obvious good work. But you are correct. You need to go back to work, so I will not bother you.
Work. And he
Have a
turns back
pleasant evening,
around.
Locke. She will wait until he turns around.
He's
and then
basically, you notice because of his shape, his height, and his build, the way he cranes his neck remains mostly unseen from the first room. He about 75%
Mhm.
in when they at the moment they're a little bit past Caleb.
Yeah, they
You
can.
would see in the room.
So what she's going to do is wait until he turns, and then going through the other room, right, that's behind him, and she's going to pull out her phone and text Artie and say, Artie, there's a magus in this Elysium. Sid. And then she'll put in big caps letters Dominus instead of anything else. That's a follower. And then she's looking at these art pieces that are in this room, and she is looking for a bunch of small Inuit jewelry or First Nations jewelry case.
So there is no jewelry.
Well, or scrimshaw or small pieces, not large pieces.
The smallest pieces that you find, they're in display cases. They would be about a foot in height.
Difficult, but not unworkable.
Yeah, imagine there is like this one. Hard to Simon to gauge what it's made of. Porous, like greenish, grayish stone. But it's a sculpture of a bird.
Okay.
It's just imagine like bird. This. But wait.
Sound
Soapstone. Thank you. It's okay. I barely said anything. That's because the word in French has that special character that is my go-to music. Yes.
So with the soapstone, she is going to is she in line of sight of this gargoyle at this moment? No, his back is to her, right?
Yes, his back is to you, but you could
turn around
if you wanted to.
But he's also not fast in doing that.
No. However, you don't know how good is.
This is true. She makes a note of where it is, and she makes a note of what it is. And she walks purposefully, and she pulls out her phone to check to see if Lucky has responded. And at the same time, she sends another text, which is basically, you really need to get a better phone. And then she's going to walk back towards Artie, and she is now looking to place who this Sid is, because she thinks she knows, but she's not 100% sure. Because there's only one person that she saw in the room who would be not like the only person who is not accounted for in her mind is this stunningly gorgeous Asian woman with Chinese pirate gold around her throat.
Mm.
But she's also looking to see if she missed anyone as she walks back in.
Go to Arthur first. Hello, Arthur.
Hi.
Lori has just left. We'll rewind to
Yeah.
that point after the cant.
So, Caleb, mind introducing me to these two lovely young women?
Those are Jimmy's friends. Jimmy. And the other vampire takes. So the twins, they can introduce themselves. And then again, politely takes a step back. The two girls, creepily, together, turn, take a step. They don't walk the same way. They don't have the same gait. But they do everything in you. Except speak. And one of them introduces herself as, give me a second. I don't want to say, I know it starts with an black-haired Ella. The other is Maggie.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yep, okay, so I got them in order. The pleasure is all ours, says Ella.
So I take it you're not new, but this is the first time I've heard of or seen the two of you.
Maggie answered, kind of the type of people that they are,
Hmm.
they don't really like. Yeah, Ella. We stick to our hole in the ground.
So, why answer the call this evening?
In unison, they both point to Jim. I miss +1.
I see. Well, may you quickly find yourselves in far more pleasant confines than this one.
They don't even have good music.
The Camarilla was only accused of having a good taste in music twice in its history. Surprisingly, one of those times was in Paris. The other time was London. I believe it was 1973.
Hey, are you some sort of like vampire history professor? Because you sound like that guy on Disco.
Well, after leaving the Sabbat, I had a lot of time on my hands and not a lot of direction. So I figured studying the history of the kindred would be enlightening.
Okay, Gramps.
Hmm. Yeah. He just.
Caleb, again, marble. Just don't.
Just
Jimmy can't help but you can see him try to suppress
yeah.
a snicker.
No.
The
I get it.
two ladies though. So where Jimmy looks, very young,
Hmm.
at like early 20s,
Yeah.
they look late 20s. They look like they are older, but not just older in when they were embraced, but older in even demeanor. And you notice. Oh, I would need to ask. Yes, you spoke to them in English, Arthur.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not
there is
expecting anyone here to speak Venetian.
there is a slight Londoner accent, one
Mhm.
that's been almost forgotten by this time. Yeah.
Then I would like to go, yep. And then once that clicks, yes. I see you noticed the suit. Yeah, I got it from Norton and Sons. I figured I needed to have at least something of repute to wear at these events.
Wherever you. Honestly, we haven't been told there was a dress code.
Oh, there wasn't. But
Haven't been thrown out yet.
no, it's the first court. Throwing out happens after the gift giving.
You just have Maggie turn to Ella and go,
It's usually unstated, but it's good manners.
"Well, Ella, we have a gift. I took care of it. Now, lessons.
Are you familiar with the traditions?
They just turn around and leave.
This is going to be an eventful night. And before he walks away, rooting for you, kid.
Yeah, now Caleb is staring daggers at Jimmy.
And I think that's the point when the text comes in
Mm-hmm.
and he stops, stark still. Specifically deletes that text message. Puts it back in his pocket. Takes a breath. Like he doesn't need to breathe. Takes a breath. Before he walks towards the very interesting half Asian woman.
When she sees you approach, takes a step back, swivel, that she's facing 45 degrees facing you,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the room, but clearly now she has put herself at. She has drawn a line, if you will, towards the rest of. And she acknowledges nothing until you are in arm's reach or thereabout.
Yeah. He stops a little bit farther out. Sword's distance between the two of them. Good evening. I'm Arthur Porter. Pleasure to meet you.
Sierra Van Buren. She holds her hand for you to.
So, what brings you to Montreal?
I have business.
Dream. If one is to tamp down the beast to the point where it's just a whisper, you have to have goals.
How much of a dreamer are Eliza? You dream or do you put the effort behind your
I am probably worth more than all these people in this room. You tell me.
order?
If you needed money scrubbed at any point during the last 70 years, it's probably gone through my hands.
That might be where I had your. It.
I
I was
prefer
young.
the name creative accountant, but sure.
I have no need laundering anything.
The responsible amongst us quickly lose their need of my services. Except when you move. That's the nasty thing. Those long-term accounts, all of a sudden, those forensics can become problematic.
Quest for help.
No. Just getting a measure of the room. Since honestly, there's only one focal point in it, and it's here.
That threaten you.
No. There are very few things that threaten me.
Powerful woman.
Oh, a powerful woman is one of them, but you're not her.
Quarrel.
Oh, if only.
Oh, mommy issues.
Are there any other?
Daddy variety.
Hmm.
If I recall, I'm about to relay information that states you used to.
Oh, yes. Until 1944.
Then in the 90s,
90s, I was independent.
is there
I believe
such
the old
thing?
term is autarchus.
One select club to it?
I find that the dogma of many of the different teams leaves much to be desired, as they have a tendency towards tyranny. There are very few good tyrants amongst the kindred. The good ones tend to end up staked or worse.
Many of them lately.
The old blood has to listen to the older.
If memory serves, dragon is dogma. Dream of yours. Grand plan for this.
More of trying to see if an old experiment will bear fruit.
Luck. Not part of this.
This court is a guest in this city. Until it finds all that's left of the original founders, it is a guest. Again, one of the most important traditions is domain.
Might not recognize Rest Island as part of the has begun to spread.
If I think about plagues, with the right predator, tend to burn out real quick. I don't need auspex to hear the howls just in the forest. Camarilla likes to walk big, talk bigger. And while I'm doing my best to uphold the first tradition, there are a few in this room that I do not give long before they violate that one. And the wolves will come.
We're scared of a great many things, Mr. Wolves, mummy. What else? What else scares you?
Wolves don't scare me. Have you ever fought a werewolf?
No. I make sure I never have. Never said fearing the werewolves was a bad thing. Pattern with
I've supped on one. It was a hard fight. I was much more vicious back then. After it was hit with the truck, it got easier. It's not a tradition within the Camarilla. It's not stated. But there is one tradition amongst all kindred. There is no such thing as a fair fight. May your business be fruitful, and may it be one that bears fruit for not just you, but the city.
already has.
hope so.
That he went from Eddie interrupts. Evening.
Good evening, Miss Duhamel.
If you are done, Sven Burris, Miss here, we would move on to the next part of our soiree. I do believe the kid something.
Of course, again, it's
Would
the
like
first
to be
court.
first.
That may be a bit gauche. I don't want to necessarily show up anybody.
Oshirim.
One thing the dragon is not is ambitious. We know what our gifts are worth.
And she calls everyone to sort of gather around. But as the crowd moves a little, footsteps go across. Someone else is coming. However, same footsteps echo in the museum. They also echo in a concrete for the Olympics. They are faster. The squeaking of sneakers on the floor. The tapping of a hand. Rest on the wall gives into the locker room as an out of breath, red-headed young vampire looks gathered crowd of anarchs and sorry, I got this customer just wouldn't leave. I was closing tonight. Yes, I close every night. Hi guys. Hey. Oh. Hey, Lucky. It is,
Hey.
of course, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He has a backpack that he promptly puts down on the ground and like sweeps under the bench and then it's on the bench exactly like Bill. What are you guys talking about? Yuma had not said a word when Alex interrupted him. Just grunts.
I imagine we're all just looking at Alex.
Oh yeah,
Is that
everyone is. And the first thing Yuma says is, "Son, how many times do I have to tell you? You don't need to breathe." Alex goes, "Oh, reflex. Sorry, Mr. Kenzie." And you notice his bushiness, is the red in his cheeks turns back to white as he probably just stops the blush of life. Even his eyes get a little redder, kind of like his hair. Fangs poke a little, baby teeth. I was saying, there's a shitstorm brewing. We're all here because, well, it's gonna affect us whether we like it or not. I'm glad you decided to come here. I know you got an invitation for that other place. Yes, sir, Mr. Mackenzie. But you told me, you know, I would be as safe there as fine going in there. So, here. You guys won't eat. Right? He looks at Lucky, right?
Why would I eat you?
He looks back to Yuma. was trying very hard to. And you can see his hand resting on the mini fridge, slowly curling into a fist, as even his claws are like digging in the plastic of the mini fridge. He's not safe with the Camarilla.
Why?
Sanctioned cannibalism. That's how we're gonna call it. They don't give two shits about Thin Bloods. They still think they're the heralds of the end. Shit. They don't really believe it. Don't really believe half of what they're saying. If it helps an elder devour a younger child, apparently it's legally encouraged.
What's wrong with them?
Everything. I mean, what's wrong with kings and tyrants and dictators? We are animals. And we shouldn't pretend to be. That said, we don't have to act like animals. We're certainly not Sabat leak. But we also don't have to fucking pretend that we respect the laws and the tradition. When in reality, the only people that have to respect it are the newborns, pups. The elders don't. They made the rule. They break them every goddamn night. Know what's on your mind. And I'm not going to ask you, Lucky, bend the knee, kiss the ring. Bullshit.
Good.
You're not from here. Got that going for you. You're also not from here. I tend to...
I've been here for 2 years.
Yeah, that's the blink of an eye.
It is, but it's longer than. And Lucky just looks the direction of where the art gallery is. Just looks that direction. We're inside of a basement, but you know.
Yeah, he knows. Ha! Yeah. Well, they like to think that just because the tower as a whole is old and set foot.
So. What do you know?
Oh, what, the Camarilla?
Know about all of this?
I don't. Why we're all here. Is when you don't know something. That means there's trouble. There's trouble, you turn to the only people you trust. Most of you here. It just looks at you again. An old acquaintance told me that you weren't so bad.
Who?
Making an effort.
Which acquaintance?
I think she wanted to be referred to as broadly what. Or at least in my company. I don't think she liked me much. She talked about her child. Nova Scotia.
How do you know her?
Lived here. The rest of us had to endure the bullshit. I really do. seems to be heaven on earth in a small fishing village. Came to worst hit of the worst our kind has to offer. Wasn't the only one here anyway. Lonesome. Don't look at me like that. I don't really. It's just like tonight. It's Broadly and we didn't enjoy those who said they were power. It had its perks. It had much more advantage.
I've got questions about that, but I think we should get into more pressing business first. But if you knew Hetty, that's good enough for me.
I did. Apologize, everyone. Our new lick here doesn't know half of you. Just, you know the drill. Blue-haired woman in the pinned leather jacket. Combat boots. Need I remind you, everyone has combat boots, except Alex, because anarchs.
Lucky's got work boots, so it's close, but not the same.
No, that's it. Just like your mentality.
Close, but yep.
Um,
Close, but not the same.
He says, hello. My name is Simone Fortin.
By the way, Lucky's speaking in French, right, the entire time.
She speaks in French with a French accent.
Oh.
Yuma moans like our it again. Higher cognitive function. See, he doesn't seem to enjoy saying that. He's like the brain, if only the brain was a party pooper all the time. He goes, well, someone keep all of you boys in check. The next one, your boss, Remy. Stocky, short, leather jacket with patches. Buzz cut. 5 o'clock shadow. Kind of look like bad boy blue collar. Perhaps more on the
Nice.
side of in his life was a bad boy, street punk type of person. Maybe even a biker. But he's gotten softer. You notice, however, with his broken nose, multiple scars, that even the embrace couldn't heal what was done to him back in his living day. I forgot there's an lanky, yellow-eyed guy with the bell necklace.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, dude. Help you.
Okay, Lucky.
Everyone turns to look at Alex. Hi, I'm Alex Samard. Y'all know me. Why am I doing all politeness? Well, we're missing a few people. Oh, I keep forgetting. New blood. Very silent, aren't you? And he turns to Turns to Melvin.
Mm-hmm.
Melvin just nods and is like, I'm here to listen. Pamphlet said free food and such, but I'm not that much into bag blood. Sure we can't drink the redhead over there? I get the craving sometimes for ginger ale, you know.
It's a joke, Alex.
As if no one ever... Missing 2 people. Yuma said. Really, to you, directly, Lucky. As if the others knew already.
Who?
First one's an older guy. Clarence. Comes in and out. We'd call him our, cleaner.
Mm.
An actor.
Janitor?
No, it's an anarch, title. Type of anarch. Is the, sweeper. Basically, Clarence is the guy that knows who's who. He's the guy who's gonna alert the others if suddenly disappear.
Mm.
To look out about. Look after. Clarence is like. Also, you make a mess, call Clarence. And the other, I can't say I surprised. The other one's a sewer rat, goes by the name Vargas.
Hmm.
The spineless coward. But he is nominally one of us.
So, can I make a point first?
Hi.
Alex.
Hi. What?
Don't tell Artie what goes on in this room.
If he wasn't already white, it would be whiter. He just slinks back into his bench. He's like, it's one time. Learned my lesson, I swear.
Good.
And he looks to the others. You can trust me. Wait. Lucky, you wanna go by Lucky?
Yes, please.
Lucky. The fuck you're talking about?
Alex and Artie are friendly.
Yeah, you're gonna have to mind your mouth, son. Alex is like, I kind of figured the whole secret society thing. Not gonna talk to people about it. What if Arthur asks though, like where I was tonight? Yuma goes, you say you were with me. We're playing hockey. That's it. Nothing else. You lost 3-2. Alright? Because you suck at hockey. That's what you tell him. And he just nods and he's like, yeah, okay, fair. I'm not that good. I'm better at Kazumaki, though. The one with the Yuma raises a hand and he's like, shut up. Sorry,
So
Lucky.
I know some things. It's all right. I know something. I just wanted to make sure that was taken care of. They're friendly.
Well, from now on, it's business.
So, I know some things. I don't know what you know, but I can tell you what I do. Some prince from Paris decided that this place is his. Sent some guy, Hilkers, to be the prince here. Secretly, they've been moving in. And Caleb came to speak to Artie. Artie brought me along with all the words they say. We're moving in. It's a done deal. You play along, you'll get stuff. That sort of thing.
That's what they do. And they take anyone that doesn't have an ounce of self-respect.
Yeah. I don't know how happy everybody is with their arrangement, but I think people lie to themselves sometimes. But I think they say, we'll just let them move in, and then we'll take them out later. Find out what they want, and then we'll do something. But the way I see it is, why do you let them move in and set up shop in the first place? It's harder to kick people out once they've set their roots up and you owe them favors. They all seem to think that it's settled. That some people who've never been here before, who are not from here, can just walk in and we're all going to agree that they're in charge of this place.
They like to think that they can all game this.
There's talk, conspiracy. What is it about? They think, why would the prince come here, send someone here? Why would they do it? They must want something secret. Big plans. Let them go and get whatever big plans they have and then find out what the big plans are, and then you can destroy the big plans. It seems to me if what they're looking for is a nuclear weapon, you don't let them get it. And then think, oh, now we know what they wanted. They wanted some nuclear weapon because now they have a nuclear weapon. I don't know why people are going to sit down and let these people just walk in and pretend like they're in charge of this place. This place has no masters.
They like to think that they'll find the weapons first and then they'll have the... That's not how the tower operates. If anyone but the prince gets their hands on that weapon, anyone but the prince gets destroyed by these executioners out of nowhere. The Justicars.
What executioners? What is that?
Globe-traveling killers. Work for
Are they
the
Sabbat?
Ivory Tower. Huh?
Oh.
No.
So they're not Sabbat, though.
The Sabbat has the equivalent, though their equivalent is more religiously inclined. Motivate. The Justicars are there to make sure that the 1% stays. Remember what I said about sanctioned cannibalism?
Yeah.
Justicars are the exemplars. Flaunt any laws, they whatever they want. No one's ever going to say anything. You know why? Or monster.
Look, I'm not about to go and accept some people just walking in are in charge, and I'm not going to help them unpack their boxes.
Nope. What I'm thinking... welcome them in our... And when he says that, there's a... It begins with a murmur. Confusion. Eagerness. That's fucking. We can make Molotovs. Yeah, we know where they are. They're all in the same fucking building. We could. And just Simone, who raises her hand and goes, boys. Les garçons. That is not what Yuma meant. Right? And when she looks at Yuma, you can see that despite her calm behavior, she could knock him out. And he knows. And she knows that and he's not afraid of her. But he respects Bird. Kind of like mother. Says,
but like a cool mom.
Cool mom. Yeah, she's got blue hair.
Yeah. Cool mom.
She lets him play the Xbox.
Yep.
No violence. Wait. Insinuated.
I was thinking mass resistance.
Oh, yes, but tonight, and he holds a paper out of his pocket. We're invited. We're just gonna show up there. Tell them that the city, not there. And we already have our domains in here, and they're not going to come and step all over it. We don't fight. Raise our hackles, we growl, we bare our fang. Don't know who the fuck they're. I don't think any one of them would like to have blood on their little suits.
Point of order. I have a coterie mate, Flory. She's okay.
Yeah, that's Nomad. I was wondering why she wasn't here tonight. Guess she decided to sit with the person with the wrist pockets.
Oh, I don't think that's what's happening. I imagine right about now she's probably causing trouble.
And on that, we're gonna go on break.
Text. I get a text, and I was like, oh.
Take a quick
she might
break.
be causing trouble.
Think it's the perfect segue. It is the perfect segue. So let's go to break. 5 minutes, get some refreshment, get some stretches in, and let's see what the second half of this night. Hello, everyone. It has just been brought to my attention that my noise gate might be having an issue. So, I'll, if I need to lower the tone, I'll get closer to the mic. But I normally have the noise gate up, because I share the room with other people. And you can't hear them with it. That is why. We're back at the Fine Arts Museum.
I text back to Flory. I'm doing a thing. Talk later. And then, like after a couple of moments, because the conversation went, you might see me sooner rather than later.
Really don't think this is kind of your party. It's really not my party. Although I might be about to make it my party.
There's just a chuckle from Lucky. He's like, see you soon, period. That's my T9 texting.
And this is where you get this whole thing is when you really need a new phone.
There's just Alex, like, looking at Lucky text and go, you know, I have a wide variety of phones.
This is a good phone.
Yeah, you kind of got me stumped there. It was a good model. Like, yes. It worked. It did its job. No complaints.
Puts his phone back. He says, Yuma, I want to be able to talk to Flory about General.
Come with me. And you'll move into the
Lucky
corridor.
will walk.
Yeah, but I'll go back to the museum for a sec, and then I'll get back to Yuma
as
after.
they drift off into the side.
Yeah, exactly. Then the camera just pans, and it's the museum. The footsteps are of one Valois son. The evening has progressed a tiny bit. For the sake of this, we'll just jump a bit forward. The gift-giving ceremony, where you have Hilkers just standing. There are no thrones, there are no seats or anything. He just stands there. To his right, Caleb. To his right, Betty. To his left, Caleb. To Betty's right, Miss Van Buris. And Betty seems to be the go-between giver and the prince, where the gifter goes and she brings. And every time she, my prince, or your highness, or she doesn't overdo it, but you can see there's a bit too much decorum that maybe Hilkers is less used. Hilkers seem to be the type of person who a boardroom.
Yeah.
Not an aristocratic. That said, as some of them are things, Valois comes in and just shuffles the crowd and saddles up next to Arthur. Actually, not next. Just behind your left shoulder.
I'm going to do this so it's only that the people who are interested in listening hear it. Just because I want to put Valois on edge.
Can you first?
Yes.
Just because you're attempting to be subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Can you roll composure subterfuge?
Composure subterfuge.
Or charisma subterfuge. Because in this case, because your charisma would work against you. People would be tempted to look. So yeah, composure.
Composure subterfuge. Okay.
The difficulty is 1. You just need to succeed.
Okay.
This is like an average roll for the room. If there are
Yeah.
like private rolls I need to make for them, I will. But
Does my bonus count or no?
yes, you have made enough of an impression. That you
Okay.
clearly belong there. Yeah, that's fine.
4
So-
successes.
No one but those who would be interested in hearing, which will bring me to just one more little question tangent. Is Flory within range of that?
Oh yes. The minute Flory saw Flory had drifted back into the room, and she's also scanning like the entire gallery now, all 4 rooms, for the pieces that are going home with her.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute she saw Valois, she slid over to kind of like frame up against him and
Flory
is
would
not
know.
being subtle.
Flory would know this tone
Mhm.
when he says what he says.
Mhm.
And he says it softly just for the people who will hear, and Valois will hear. Hello, friend.
Pardon my lateness, friend. I have something.
I would love, Valois, can I borrow you?
He just motioned with his chin at the rest of the crowd.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Decorum
forbids me to move right now.
Decorum forbids me to move as well.
Decorum doesn't do
Next.
jack shit for me. And she literally says that. Not loudly, but she goes, by the way, Valois. Small question for you.
Small answer.
Who didn't give up their toys when the liberation happened? I need a list. I need to check it off.
You are neither part of the pyramid nor Santa Claus.
No, I just bring gifts and help people on the path.
Look at the people here and figure out who's related to me. Contrary to what most people think, I don't keep tabs on everyone.
At that, a memory just triggers.
Mhm.
We call them candles for a reason. They all carry sticks, also known as wicks.
Oh, that's right. It's been a very long time since I got to play with fire.
Right now, please.
Oh, I wouldn't do anything here. There are too many pieces that need to go home.
Thank you.
Arthur.
Mhm.
And he's still talking
Yeah.
from behind you.
Yeah.
Like, Flory is going to shift so she's a little bit in front of Valois. Not enough that it looks like she's intentionally hiding him, but just enough that it looks like she's shifted so that she can hear better, right? She is trying to hide him, but it's also the...
Yeah. Pardon my indiscretion. How are your vampiric eyes?
I don't have that gift. Mine are for nighttime usage.
You feel a little bump on your elbow, and you see down at the waist, Valois is holding in between his fingers a small vial. Says, trust me, we'll hate. There's blood in the vial.
Yeah.
This is where I tell you who you are.
And no. For this, like, just completely transactional. You need to start keeping some roses, wild ones. And we'll just quaff.
So you do your bump of blood, and you now have the temporarily for the rest of the night Auspex hour. Scry the soul.
Lori turns on Sense the Beast.
You're using a discipline.
Passively.
I mean, so would Artie.
Yes. And
because, you know, if you... Yes. Are you using the passive Sense the Beast or the active Sense the Beast?
So... No, it has to be active because I can't find out clan unless they're active, right?
Sense the Beast doesn't give you
No, it's just oh no, sorry, never mind. Then she wouldn't. I'm sorry, I misspoke, and she wouldn't do this.
Okay.
What she's gonna do is she's gonna scan the room. She thinks she knows who Valois is talking about, but she wants to double check because the twins are technically there.
You could make. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
She doesn't think it's them, but as she kind of like subtly scans the room, and as she's looking around, she'll lean over and go, just loud enough for Valois to hear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Artie, if he's really listening. If that was anything that possibly bonded him to you, you know that I know where you sleep.
Because 5th edition, one drink is not enough.
I know.
To bind anyone. No, but just because it used to be different.
Yeah, because it used to be different, and because it's also Tremere. It doesn't.
They can no longer blood.
Which is
pyramid exploded. But if you can make manipulation awareness, difficulty 3. Not Arthur, but Flory to find the Tremere.
Where did awareness go? Oh, manipulation awareness.
Yes, basically manipulation. I figure because it is.
Yeah.
You're looking at.
Does my bonus count for
yes,
this?
It would. Half of it. Let's say half of it. Because no one's looking at you really, so the way you're dressed and the way you're prepped change much. However, because you kind of like Arthur earlier, because of all of this, people tend to, they've seen you, done your thing. Now they've like stored you away in their mind. What the fuck?
Oh no, 2, 4. I'm gonna reroll those. Sorry.
Yeah, you can 1 willpower. You can reroll up to 3.
Up to what is it?
3 dice.
3.
You can damage your willpower more. Like you could take 2 damage right away and reroll 6 of them if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that because it comes back, and it's just
temporary damage. Yeah.
Yeah, temporary damage. Anyways, it's the half, not the whole.
Yeah. Try to not lethal, but the other one. Mashing.
Yeah, I can't. It's like that's just.
That is
statistically.
Yes.
There we go. I feel better about that. Thank you.
3 successes.
3 successes. Yeah. Because 5s don't count anymore.
No, 5s don't count. It's 6 and above.
6
so it's
6 and above.
Oh, a 6 because the other one you rolled earlier. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, 3 successes.
Hello, Raiders. Flory, the slave owner in the room, is the black guy. He is the one that looks like a certain type of Tremere.
Oh.
he looks not like the bookish cultist type. And it's only now that you sort of pinpoint their the way he's dressed and all that. He's let's call them a war mage. He is one of those, the Etrius. Old, we're talking old pyramid at this point.
Mhm.
Those that it was said at a certain point in time could turn our blood into fire.
I mean, her blood's
He-
already on fire.
He's dressed not casual, but the looseness of his clothing could hide weapons or implements. So he is prepared. You figure Valois with his coat and all that probably has the same thing.
I mean, I brought lockpicks.
But couple that with what Locke kept saying.
Yeah.
Looks like he's more of an aggressive type of
Mm-hmm.
a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Currently in front, Ella and Maggie are giving their gifts.
Oh,
to
Flory
the
takes out her
prince.
phone, and in the most obvious and gauche way possible, she starts taking pictures of the gift giving.
Do you have your flash on?
No, because it would ruin because it's an interior thing, and she has it set to auto flash automatically. So it's not going off, but she is doing it, and she's doing it so that it looks like she's doing the gift giving, but she also wants to get a picture of this asshole.
Cool. You do. You won't need to check for that. Because you don't need to move your phone much.
Yeah,
to get him in the frame.
And it's really like just giving the frame, and she's like, obviously.
Ella walks forward.
Mhm.
Fumbles around in her coat pockets. Draws a clear plastic Ziploc bag. With weed inside.
We're bringing.
And she
'Cause
deadpan
that's what
looks
the
at
prince
Betty.
needs.
Betty looks at her and she doesn't know. Like, there was a moment where she needs to know if Ella did that on purpose or Ella did that because, bless her heart, she doesn't know things. And then if she doesn't, how do I, relay this to the prince and all that? And she ends up just looking at the bag. You hear Hilkers behind her. What is this?
Halfway decent pot.
Ella just goes, "Sacred herbs, my lord."
Halfway decent pot.
Betty replies, "Would the audience please be quiet? This is just decent pot, my lord." And Hilkers is like,
Arthur can't help but wince.
Caleb, get these poor excuses for Kindred out of here. I don't know who invited them, but I don't want to see them at any gatherings for a while. As Caleb escorts them with Jimmy, Hilkers continues and says, "I would normally decorum forbids me from keeping them here. I, however, were you in my home, I would understand that this is probably the most valuable thing you have for you, and I would accept it. But we need to maintain traditions and the laws, especially tonight.
At this, Flory is like full on looking around, looking at this, and going, and looking at Betty, not the prince, but looking at Betty and giving Betty that look of like, you're downgrading yourself for the second rate? Like, I've been to Paris. This asshole and what he's saying, this is not even like
Can you make
Nice.
manip insight?
Oh yeah, I can do that one.
And while you roll that, Arthur.
And do I get my bonus on
Yes.
this one?
Oh yeah, you do. Arthur, do you turn on the eyes?
No, I know the rules. I need to be out of the door before I do that.
1, 2, 5.
Five
Because I'm
successes. Betty, for a split second, Betty understood that look,
Mhm.
and the look she gave you in return was along the lines of, you know, when you have to grind.
And there's this whole eyebrow conversation that's going
Like-
on, and it's like,
Like,
Like
no, no,
if
no,
this
no, 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 no.
if this was period, there would be fan language happening right
Mhm.
now.
yeah, it's basically like, you know, this
Oh,
is
wait, I
the
have a
quickest
clutch.
way
Hey.
to the top.
No. Flory will pull out the clutch and flick it as if it was her fan. Now, admittedly, there was a lot of differentiation between country and space and station, and Flory technically was never part of the. And you know, Flory learned it all secondhand. But she flicks her clutch like it's and just does the whole look and slight turn of her head like, you can have a grind, but this is not going to actually help you and is actually lowering you in everybody's eyes. You are not actually getting respect from anyone at this point. And I want
If
to
her-
convey
Yep.
using the fact, like convey in the room, convey in everything, tied to the fact the previous comment that Flory knew cracked that little bit of marble about the fact that he hasn't selected a herald and she isn't secure in her position, and kind of shoot side eyes to striking Asian woman who's standing right next to the prince, and then this striking black Tremere who's standing nearby, and like, oh, this is not going to end the way you think. Everybody here is laughing at you because they all know that you're manipulatable, that you are a toy, and that they can step all over you. I want to facilitate her insecurities and paranoia.
Make manip etiquette.
Mhm.
Difficulty
Is there
3.
an assistance mechanic in this?
Yes, there is.
Because
Tell me how you wish to help. Start
again,
with this.
I know Toreador, I know their history. Even the anti-trib used fan language. And I see her move that clutch, and I'm just going to, for the first time all evening, lock eyes with Betty and give that look that the elders are watching. That you done goofed. Even the person rooting against you sees that you done goofed.
She doesn't have a fan, but she'll reply in her own way. Give me just a quick second. I want to
But-
see.
so-
Teamwork. There we go. It's the largest pool among the participant who gets to roll, and you get that person gains an additional die for each other characteristic
Okay, so
if they have
So-
at least one dot in the skill involved.
Yeah,
What's
I've
the
got
skill?
So the
manipulation
roll
and etiquette.
is, yeah, manip etiquette.
Okay, well, you'll get a die from me. So
Okay. Because I've got with that pool it would be 7 if I add in my bonus.
Yes. So 8 now.
So 8. Is that the highest
Folly.
pool?
yeah,
Folly texts back, by the way.
Oh, Folly does text back. Okay, I need to. Well, I'll
It
respond to
says,
Folly in a
it's
second.
true. It says, it's true. Everybody needs me, is the response from Folly. Right there at that moment when you've got, like, all of that madness.
Oh, and it's perfect because like I
Yes, it
think
is.
she flicks the thing, makes this moment, and pulls her phone out to look like she's looking at something else, and then looks back at like sees the text from Folly, looks at Betty, looks to the phone as if your shame is spreading beyond just this room. And so etiquette, manipulation, and 3 extra dice. 7 successes. And yeah, for a crit. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Noted. Get back to that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Um,
and then she's just gonna kind of side look at Valois to kind of be like, had that conversation, told you everything that happened, and then look at Valois like, I'm done my part.
Yeah. She replies with subtle motions of her gloved hands, holding it as if it was kind of like a fan.
Or
But
if she
it's-
was like holding a glass or something. Yeah. There's a lot of
but it's
conversations
very
happening.
subtle and quick because the prince quickly gets back to the ritual and ceremony.
Yeah.
And and she basically just has enough time to convey that you don't know me. Let's leave it at that. You don't know me, you don't know what I'm going through.
Girlfriend, I don't have to know you and know what you're going through, but I can see how much you're looking like you're falling in on your face, and I'm offering you a hand up. I will be killing you eventually. She isn't saying that part, but I am offering you a hand up in this moment. You should be taking it. But she isn't saying that. I did my nice thing. And then she looks, and then she picks up the phone and texts Folly is like, oh my God. Just, I can't even.
Arthur, you are called next. After the blunder.
I will come up with this large black velvet sack.
Oh, sorry. Just before you do, or you step out, Valois adds, "Will not get another."
I will not break the quorum in this room.
Just tell
Sorry,
me what it
black
is.
velvet sack.
Yeah. No, it comes up with this black velvet sack. Hands it to Betty. Do not reach in. Just retract the bag enough to see the truth of what is in. It is very delicate and much more expensive than any of the art pieces here.
She carefully lowers the bag, peek what's in it.
It is a polished black obsidian mirror.
It is a polished black obsidian mirror, Your Highness. And Hilker's twinge of giddiness. Can I see?
By all means, Your Highness. It is a artifact amongst the kindred that has different meaning depending on the clan. For those that are gifted in certain rituals or magics, it allows ones to see farther than the eye. To others, it is a means of plumbing for truths. For others, like yourself, of lords, it is not only an art piece, but it is the bargaining chip amongst the other clans.
I was told he'll talk as he gets the mirror out, but he makes sure not to look at the glass. Sort of hide it with a hand, as he admires the back of it. I was told of who you are and who you were. I need you to understand, Mr. Porter, that the Camarilla has no room for those who still bear loyalty to Sabat. And as he says that, there's a short, in the room from certain people. You okay?
No, she's coughing loudly.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No. Flory does that. No, I appreciate the distinction, though. Flory does that.
He continues. However, I am a magnanimous prince, and I do not want to come here as an enemy. From what I understand, Mr. Porter, you no longer bear any ties to the Sabat. Correct?
Not since 44, Your Highness.
Then let Montreal be unique in this sense. Let us welcome one of the old clan to our midst. Should anyone ask, Mr. Porter, you were grandfathered in.
I don't like lying, Your Highness. I will tell the truth of whatever is asked of me.
Honest dragon. My.
There are many of us, Your Highness. Most of us live in the south of the New World. The others in the Old World were culled by certain clans. And I stared daggers at Sid.
Oh, he stares back. Not dagger. Just looks and acknowledges. And there's a slight feeling of, I know I was there. The look of a veteran.
To be used on experiments as well. Culling of not just the dragons, but also the gangrel.
Yes, well, that was solved at Montmartre. Let's not dwell on the past. We're here to forge a Camarilla for the future.
It's interesting you mentioned not to dwell on the past, Your Highness. Convention of Thorns has many interesting loopholes.
Tonight is not to discuss politics, Mr. Porter, but I would really like to sit down with you around a glass of, say... What's your favorite Discratia?
Sanguine.
Then let us sit around a nice, tall glass of sanguine one night. Now, I believe we have other matters to attend to. Thank you for the gift. It is greatly appreciated. And as he says that, he even puts a hand over his heart. The others, will do their thing. When you go back to your place, Valois, as he leaves to go bring his gift, briefly says, "It will not work if you're..." And he approaches the prince and Betty, but you notice he is blocking Betty's line of sight to you.
I will move closer.
And
Flory
yes.
Flory heard this, so she's gonna shift herself as if she needs to get better space to take pictures, because she's still taking pictures of all the gift giving. And so she's going to try and further block the vision of this asshole. And
I know he uses the I know.
The asshole. And if she can, both the asshole and Van Burris.
Oh, Van Buris is on the other side. She's next to the prince.
Okay, so she's trying to block line of sight for people that would make commentary, but if she can't do both, then she did definitely want to block line of sight for Sid. Okay. By the way, as she's taking these pictures, she's going to send 2 pictures. One is immediately sent to Zalmati of Sid, and the other is immediately sent to Jardani as well. But this is her helping Artie.
Valois makes an elaborate show of his gift giving. And how he,
I am going to try a deception here. Because of what was given, I'm giving the impression that the only person that can show me up is Valois. And that is why I'm lingering so close.
Yes. Give me manipulation subterfuge. And if Flory has at least 1 point in subterfuge, you get the 1 die bonus. And you also have the +2 die bonus.
Subterfuge? Yeah, I've got 2.
Okay, so yeah. Your diversion works.
Difficulty?
You are going to want to hide your
why I'm getting so close.
Yes. Difficulty 5.
Ooh, this is gonna be tough.
Rouse the blood?
Let's spend a willpower.
You can do willpower for 1, and you could even rouse the blood to get an extra die. Or an extra 2 die, I think, given your blood potency. No, it's an extra 1.
It's an extra 1. Well, let's rouse. I might get a little hungry.
Yes.
Because honestly, yeah, we're getting hungry.
So that extra die is actually a hunger die.
Yeah.
But it still is an extra die.
Yeah. So
we'll consider the second one that you roll, the hunger die. So
okay.
Nothing on the hunger die.
Yeah, but
1, 2, 3.
No, we've got 5.
Yeah.
We just hit.
Do not see anyone paying more attention than they should. They are staring at Artie, but they are staring because they're like, ooh, Simichi's gonna do something if he gets one-upped or something. Like, let's, drama. Ooh, we're the Camarilla. It's like
Again,
Twitter.
being one-upped by a Tremere.
Yeah, which is...
After just just saying those things. It's just like I'm building this narrative.
And basically, check something. My friends, I am bringing you tonight something that will strike fear in the heart of your enemy. The city has long been a lawless wasteland, religious fervor and casual massacre. But even the Sabbat fears one thing. And he produces out of his coat a very nice stake carved of rowan wood, inscribed with a bunch of golden runes. This, your highness, in will pierce the heart of a kindred like butter. Furthermore, you strike true, as I do believe someone of your pedigree would. It is final death, as he gestures, for anyone who has dared cross you. This comes at a great price, and is not just from me, but from the entire Clan Tremere. Holds the stake. Betty does not want to touch it. You can see, Lori, that Miss Van Buris really likes that steak.
Isn't it such a shame?
Artie, do you do the deed?
I am not going to stake somebody.
No. What I mean is, do you use the discipline?
No, I am not breaking decorum.
All right.
I know who's looking at me.
The gift is given. And Valois proudly reintegrates the crowd as the prince announces last gift. We will take a brief 5-minute recess before, and then you hear, "Hey, fuckface!"
Ooh, and at this point, Florie's gonna turn on the video camera, and she makes eye contact with Betty, going, "You should have listened to me."
Let's rewind a little. Oh, by the way, dear viewer, we are going over tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Suck it up. We did
You
finish on
say
time
that
last
like
week.
it's a bad thing.
No, it's not. Sucking is a good thing when you play vampire.
And
Among
other
other
circumstances.
Lucky,
Yeah.
you're in that corridor with Yuma. And Yuma says, shit, Simon needs to remember. It was the thing about secrecy.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Because you said, the...
You want to say to Flory, right?
Yeah. Listen, you're not part of movement. At least I don't think you are.
No.
But you've got common sense. You don't need to ask permission from not some sort of authority figure. I lead.
Not.
But I don't I'm not your dad.
It's not about authority. It's about respect.
I can see that,
I
and
don't
I
want-
know.
I don't want you thinking I betrayed you.
I appreciate that. But I think I would know if you tried to frame me.
People talk. And I just want to make sure it's up front.
I don't mind you talking
Yuma.
to that Ravnos.
Okay. Yuma. Caleb.
Yeah, what?
He gave some talk about wanting to just see what's going on, that he's not really in with them. That was a story he told.
Oh. Oh. There's a tiny part of me, Lucky, that likes to believe that he still has a spine, but I don't think so. He's a spider and a weaver of lies.
He's the sheriff. I think that's what they called it.
Seems legit. He's a cop.
Yeah. Look. He's a bit too interested in things that are not his business.
Cops tend to want that.
I just want you to know I don't trust it, and I don't know what he's doing. But, he's a bit too interested in Hetty.
Yeah.
And what's below the city.
Yeah. I figure. Thank you for confirming it.
He doesn't know the way in yet.
There are no more ways in.
There are ways in, he just doesn't know them yet. And I think he's hoping that somebody will lead him to it.
There are no ways in.
I don't think that's true, Yuma.
And you hear him growl. There are things down there that shouldn't be able to find a way to the surface.
He wants down there.
I mean, who doesn't want to loot the entire cathedral?
Hmm.
We all did
Depending
at
on
some
what's
point.
left.
I think he's clinging to some antiquated notion there is still something profane in this place.
Maybe.
Ugh. The religious mumbo jumbo of Strathcona probably got to him.
I don't know.
He never was that
He's-
much of a... Now that I think of it, I've barely ever seen him.
Caleb?
Yeah, he must have been some very, very low-ranking novitiate of the church to... Oh, that would fit the bill. People thinks they're destined for greatness. Taken closer to Papa Kane.
The Sabbat Church?
Yeah. They're crazy.
He seems to be very friendly with the Camarilla.
Like I said, he's a weaver of lies. He's a guy who's gonna do whatever it takes to... I don't fucking know.
Yeah, so, Yuma. He asked me about Hetty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was here. You know that. She
I
stayed
don't know
here
what she
for
was
some
doing
time.
here. What was she doing here?
Hunting, feeding, living the life.
Do you know somebody named Damian Black or Damian Buckfield?
As a matter of fact, I do. And he grab you by the shoulder, like grabs you by one shoulder. And he goes, and now you have one more reason to come with me to the museum.
Okay, but who is it?
I'll tell you along the way. And he shouts to the people inside. Okay, gang, it's showtime. Put on your angry faces. Alex, go home. Yeah, yes, sir.
And like Lucky looks at Alex. Just looks at him.
He's like clutching his bag as he was like coming out and just there's like
Hey,
probably
Alex.
years of repressed bullying in school locker rooms that
Yeah.
just comes back to him.
Alex,
Especially from a guy wearing a hockey jersey. Go on.
could I see your bag? Let me see your bag. I'll give it back.
There you go.
Thank you.
It's
I just want to make sure there's no like surveillance devices in there, just in case.
you find 3 handguns, 2 bottles of gasoline, and a handful of rags, along with a torn up piece of styrofoam. I wasn't sure what we were going to do tonight.
Lucky zips it back up and then just hands it back to him like,
You want some? It's I had brought the I thought we did the, and Yuma goes, much as I would want it, kid. Mom says we can't have fun tonight. And like Simone just shoulder checks him as she walks by, not saying a thing. Outside, you hear the revving of several motorcycles. Let's fast forward until you walk outside.
yeah.
Revving of
And he's just
motorcycles.
like, Alex, think more. Like he says as he walks out with the gang of anarchs.
Yeah, there's basically, it's like a biker gang, save for Yuma. Yuma goes, I normally like to run.
Do you want to ride?
Have a car?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
That doesn't mean
around
I
the
owe you
block.
anything.
No, I don't like that anyway.
Good. And
Gonna
he's
take him around
going
the
to
block
ask a few
to it.
questions about your pickup truck, by the way. Like, where'd you get it?
What?
How old is it?
He's like,
Does it got
Trust me, it's
got
old.
good gas mileage? Like,
no, because it's old. It has
what's the
terrible
torque
gas
on it?
mileage. And like, yeah, and like, Lucky will talk about it, but it's clearly like a car that was probably from, I'm thinking it's probably like a late 70s sort of pickup truck that has been well maintained, but
Oh,
some people don't have a lot of money to go and like just get new stuff, so they just keep the things they have really well maintained.
Mhm.
wait a second. I need to look up something.
And it's probably has like an inappropriate amount of miles on it, is what I would probably say about that one, because it has been many places.
1972 Toyota Helix. Because those things refuse to die.
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah.
Back when I was younger, I used to have a coupe de ville.
Oh.
I liked it. And then I used it to crush open some fucker's head.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
This took me all the way down to Chile and back.
Take me all the way up to the North Shore. I don't travel.
Why not?
Should learn to appreciate the territory you're given.
Given?
As a matter of speech. We're here. Because let's say we're here.
Yeah. It's like, yep.
Up and out.
Around the block. You know what I mean? Just don't need to be right in front of that museum.
You notice, or the viewers would notice, a small lack in security. You, Lucky, would notice a couple of anarchs just dragging unconscious bodies into shadowy corners.
Well, that happens.
Yuma turns to the group and says, whatever happens, the talking.
Lucky just says, remember, this is our home. Let's not crap in our own backyard.
I know what I'm doing.
He didn't say that to Yuma. He said to the other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't say that to Yuma because he's like he figures that Yuma and Simone, but
probably
like, he just saw people drag some bodies off to the alley. He's like, just wanted to remind them.
That said, Yuma would tell you, listen, you don't want your pals to see you. You can stand back. I'm not gonna hold it against
I don't care. I don't care about that. I stand up for what I believe in.
And he's going to walk up as you enter the place. There's that one guy with the clipboard at the entrance that just goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, who are?" And there's just a punch from Yuma that just goes, doesn't even look, knocks the guy out cold. And he says to you, Lucky, tell you about Black. Hey, fuckface!
And Lucky just takes the list of names, puts it in his hockey jersey. The guy's unconscious, he doesn't need it. Figure like, we might like it. That's all. Just whoop.
Gasps in shock. Burn. Yes.
Flory is Flory. She pans, takes in the camera, backs up as if she needs more space to get more visual line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that one person doesn't appear on your camera.
Oh yeah. That would be who?
Van Buris is just this weird blur of pixel. Like your camera's breaking.
She's got that. Good to know. But as she backs up, she's going to let the whole thing play out. And while it's playing out, she's going to rob the rest of this art museum.
I was like, she's like, distraction. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just me with my T9 section. You have an actual phone.
Malkadoshian,
Sorry.
wrong O. Not the O you're thinking of.
That is the little somber that do with mirrors and film.
Ding, ding, ding.
It is indeed.
Yeah, that's what Flory is like.
Interesting.
Yeah,
lots of cool people at the Elysium.
Have the rabble poured in yet?
Nope. They stay outside the door. Yuma,
I see.
however, will just stand in the threshold. Just so that like his toes and parts of his feet and his belly, because let's admit it, he's a little portly, are inside the room. And the prince turns. Doesn't even look at Betty, who like was about to announce who was coming in. More out of habit than like she didn't take a good look. But the prince turns and without skipping a beat, you would be Yuma Mackenzie of the local rabble. Yeah, that's right, fuckface. You're not going to take our city. Understood? Me and mine. Mr. Mackenzie, let us remain civil. I am not here to be your enemy. You and yours, I have given long thought. Have anything east of Papineau?
Oh.
And Yuma
Pull up my
just
Google
goes
Maps.
silent. This is, for those watching at home, he basically just split the island into...
Yep.
Papineau is one of the main thoroughfare that runs in back of Little Italy. Your domain, the coterie, the players, would be on the non-anarch side.
Mm-hmm.
Yuma just... again, stands... what?
Ooh.
And the prince
Ooh.
goes...
Mm-hmm.
I know that this island has a long history. And as my first edict as prince, as a generous, kind soul that I am, I will bestow rights of hunting to the entire island east of Papineau to the local anarchs until such time as they see the wisdom in joining the Camarilla.
Oh, Kadab.
However, Mr. Mackenzie, the masquerade must be protected at all costs.
Hmm.
And the other traditions respected.
All of the traditions?
He turns to you.
She's standing in the middle of the doorway intentionally. Out into the gallery, just intentionally.
You mean next to Yuma?
No.
The other
So like
side.
you have the four squares of the gallery, right?
Yes.
So she slid to the left.
Oh, okay.
So she can get
To
the whole room,
yeah.
right?
Um,
Intentionally, like I'm sliding to the left and everybody else is separate in the space. All of the traditions?
yes, my wayward Ravno. All of
I'm not
the
wayward to anything. Thank you for your very much kindness. I'm an employee, a freelancer. I do a job, I get paid. However, I'm very intrigued that you say that you're going to honor all of the traditions. And yet you lie.
I will not be spoken to that way. I can understand coming from him. You do not want to hear another word.
Sucks to be you. I only speak truth. What does a venture have to do with honoring enslavement of a gargoyle? Oh.
Sorry, Sid would raise his voice. So he is no slave.
There's 1,001 ways to be a slave, Shermir.
He is
But
free.
the man who calls you master in conversation is not free. And I bid you all a fond farewell. And she's going out the window behind her.
Like you break the window?
Oh, yeah. That's also why she's in this gallery, because she's going to grab a couple things on the way by, because they're a little too big to fit in the purse. And that's why she's leaving this way.
Yep.
And she's calling Sid a liar, this Tremere a liar to his face.
Yep.
Intentionally. She doesn't mention the Lasombra bit. She holds that in reserve. But you brought... You claim that he's a free man, but he calls you master and you're in front of everyone in this Elysium? I challenge your claims. And I go out the door. Ravnos. Window. Well, anything I choose
Do
to go
you
out
shout
is now a door.
Ravnos as you leave through the window?
Ravnos!
Fuck
no.
you! Fuck all of
No.
you! Ravnos, out!
What she does do is in Roma loudly and publicly say, I curse this court. I curse you all. You lie, you cheat. We have no deal. Out the window. And gone. But she's taking like a couple items with her that she's kind of like hiding behind. It was like she was standing there challenging him, so that they're not obvious. But she's taking things that she can, a couple things that she can carry.
They're going to realize it tomorrow morning anyway.
Oh God, yeah, of course. But
also, the window's going to have to be replaced.
Well, as the window breaks,
the alarm
goes off.
Yeah, it does.
And the prince says, "Never invite Ravnos under your roof. I should have known better. I am too kind. The rest of this meeting will be done one-on-one. I will send invites. I do believe we need to go. Sheriff Duval?" And people start pouring out, basically trying to slither past Yuma, who's still in the doorway. Still stunned. And eventually, when there's just the prince, Betty, and Caleb, everyone else says,
And Lucky is right there with Yuma.
Basically, when there's just Betty and the prince left in the room, Caleb would tell Yuma, hey, you go, and begin to...
And I think Lucky would just before Caleb could get close, Lucky would put his hand on Yuma's shoulder, right, and just give it a squeeze to...
As you leave, you would see, not Arthur if you've left in the beginning with most of the crowd, but definitely Lucky by the time you leave. The red and blue lights
Arthur's
of
still
sirens are... Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Arthur. Then you too would see the red and blue lights of sirens. But did you want to do anything before leaving the room?
No, just something to do as I'm leaving the room.
Figured. I've been trying to push you.
Yeah. I like the idea of, if this is allowed, the moment where Lucky pulls on Yuma's shoulder.
If what you're going to do is not speaking, if you're doing an eye spy
it is just mouthing to Lucky, I need a distraction.
Lucky has something to say. Because, and he just says, you may not know me. I don't know if you do or you don't. I don't follow your traditions. I have my own.
And as I push past, I would like to activate Scry the Soul.
And Lucky kind of steps a little bit forward to give that kind of slight cover. And he goes, also, you can't grant anything that is not yours. You can think this is yours to grant, but it's not. You're a guest here in Montreal, and you stay only as long as you respect the community that was here before. We grant you, for the moment, permission to be here.
Caleb, who's this peasant? And Caleb turns to the prince. Says, this would be one of Yuma's rabble, it seems. He is beneath
No,
your...
I am my own man. Don't speak to me, Caleb. I am my own man. I belong to no one. I have no master, and I have no king, and I have no prince.
Is he going to be trouble, Caleb? I assure you, Your Highness, he might even come to his senses one day. Perhaps under your guidance, my lord.
I'm going to be trouble.
And like Hilker seemed to enjoy that.
This is me.
You
Distraction,
do not need
distraction.
to arouse the blood for this.
Oh, I don't? Okay.
Not for that one. Blood has been aroused for you.
For you.
Okay.
So just give me that. Let me check. Yes. Versus composure and subterfuge.
So my intelligence plus, I'm guessing his aspects?
Yes. That would
Whatever.
be 5 dice
Wait, you have it's versus subterfuge. Is that correct?
of Hilker's. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Are you rolling subterfuge?
No, I'm rolling intelligence plus the aspects of Valois.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to help on that. But remember, because of your blood potency, you do add discipline
1.
power bonus. Yeah, you would add 1 die. Because your blood
And-
potency
If-
2, right?
Yes.
But I don't
and,
think he has that discipline, yeah?
It doesn't matter. It's in the vial. It counts.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll have to roll 1 additional die after this. Because I do not have aspects, so I'm using the extra dice, which
No
caps out at
problem.
5 to be essentially Valois' aspects. And I'm just setting the difficulty to 0 because it's a versus.
Oops. It was difficulty.
Oh.
Well, I still get to roll
Yep.
1 die.
Mhm. Mhm, 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 mhm. You got 4 successes.
Well, if degrees matter, I want to get as every
Yeah, yeah.
single one I can get.
Yeah.
That's another one, so
5
5.
successes. Prince does not have aura. Instead, you just see a quick flash. There is something red on his neck that glows like a rune. And in a brief instant, you see fingers curled around his shoulders. Her head kind of whispering in his ear. Al Philogama. Gonna end. I hope I'm not giving you a heart attack, Bo.
Keeps getting worse.
Oh yeah.
I thought it worked out pretty well. Everything's pretty nice. It's a pretty good party.
I made a friend. I have permission to do murder. And I got to rob an art gallery of things that didn't belong to them and needed to go back to where they did belong.
Roll a d10 real quick.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Just, I need to make sure. If you roll a 1 or a 2, something will happen. Otherwise, well, something else will happen. Because you are, need I remind you,
1.
in the Quebec and
7.
Canadian art, the things
Yeah.
you took are from
Mhm.
local artists.
No, she was intentionally planning to only take Inuit and indigenous topic stuff. She
There-
said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might need to retcon a bit. There is it's the one where there are
Because I looked at the gallery and it does
Yeah.
contain a particular history up until 1800. And she would, like, that was what she was doing when she was casing the joint. She did not take anything that was only indigenous or Inuit art.
Yeah, it's but the gallery you are in tonight, that's what I want to check. I don't care about that. I think there would be fewer items than you might have thought at first.
Okay, then she was only taking a couple anyways, because she was going out a window.
But yes, because it's art that was made by like
Mhm.
settlers.
Yes, because there's settler art, and then there is other pieces. I did
Because
check.
you are on the level 1,
Mhm.
which is the collection of 1930 to 1940. The 100% Inuit is on the 4th floor.
Okay,
But,
so we retcon it. She goes,
Look, there's still stuff for you, at least the bird,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we are not retconning Ravnos out.
No.
Like that. I'm sorry, but I need that T-shirt.
Ravnos out?
Yep.
You can add it to the merch store.
Yep. I need the chibi Flory that just goes Ravnos out as she throws herself
Yes.
out of a window.
Out the window.
Yep. Oh yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for attending this rather lengthy Elysium. Tonight was interesting, to say the least. Some things did not go as I thought they would.
Oh.
Some things did go as I thought they would.
Oh.
But, please, players, tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you have going on, if there's anywhere that we can catch you this week on the interwebs, and let everyone know what little bit of the Elysiums you enjoyed the most tonight. We'll do same order as we did. Start with Mr. Porter.
It's so much worse. Hey, everybody. Pope here, Pope World Build on Twitter, Pope World Build on Twitch. I look in all your streams. First business, then pleasure? Question mark. If you're wanting to see more of my silly face, tune in over at Practical War Thesmophoria this Saturday for more of Song of Agape's Fortune. In a stark contrast to tonight's events, the party is split and they're assembling an army to deal with a great and terrible evil. There's some similarity. There's some contrast, but there's some similarity. Yeah, no, definitely tune in for that. And then be back here Monday for more of this and an undead heart stopping beating, possibly exploding. Yeah, no, there is so much to love. Question mark. First, just lucky in, like, it's not the strangest of bedfellows, but just like feeling that push and doing what he firmly believes he must do. And finding not matching, but similar ideologies. And I just feel so much for poor Alex. He is having a rough time of it. It's just, I love that moment of, I need a distraction. Here, let me just declare everything. And the perfect moment, because while they may be at odds, there's still a care for one another. I'm not going to say a friendship because that feels strained right now, but there is at least a care for one another.
Yeah.
And then Flory, like, sometimes we say that these characters epitomize their clan, but in strikingly different ways than normal. No, this was absolutely the what you expect of a Radnos at an Elysium. This was textbook. If there was ever a thing of, something offends me morally. I was already planning to rob you all, but now I'm going to make a show of it. Oh, by the way, I'm going to curse all of you on my way out.
So good.
It was
So
just
good.
okay. Like, we've got bingo. We have checked off the entire list. It's done. Ship it. And I definitely I want the chibi art. I want that on a coffee cup. Like, I need to be able to just like sip tea with that image. And Simon, you magnificent bastard. It keeps getting worse. And I have this love-hate personally that aside from the coterie, Arthur's closest friend in Montreal is Valois. What the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, again, most of your standard storytellers would not even get close to this, but it makes so much sense in this story that let's face it, the two mystics of a very similar vein realize the threat to the city and are doing their best to help one another out, even though if it were any other circumstances, any other time, they would probably plotting each other's demise. It is just so damn good. And thank you all being here to share it. Where live VOD YouTube story is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. And I can't wait to share with you all what comes next.
Sorry, I was staring at the poll.
Poll.
Flory,
You could not put the third one there without everyone, just choosing that one.
Of course.
What?
There's a poll right now.
There's a poll, and if it doesn't end in just 100% Ravnos out, I'm going to question all of you.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
You've got to
Thanks.
Malkadoshin, you've got to click the little arrow button so you can get the full options.
Yeah. It's a
No. Bakadoshin is seeing things absolutely clearly. Thank you very much.
Fair.
It is his
Fair enough.
insight. He sees that there is only one option.
That's fair. That's fair. That is fair.
Hi, Flory.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
I thank you for having me. Thank you, my fellow players, for being okay for that moment, because I want to say this in front. And like, one of the things I did this week is I went and I talked to both Trooper and Pope, and because there's a lot of things that Flory can do, because she is a Ravnos, and at a certain point, like, this is a Ravnos going to an Elysium full of people she knows she was already planning to kill, and people who may or may not hire her. So like, her meter is kind of off, and there is a lot of things that we've talked about, like, and Pope was talking about this. There's a lot of things that people play stereotypes and play to an extreme a certain type of stereotypes, and it's very easy for someone who plays a Ravnos, a Malkavian, certain other clans to go too far in a group setting like what Vampire is, and not just overstep the other players, which is never a good thing, but also to kind of like just wear out the thing. And so I went and talked to the other players to make sure that we weren't going to get to that point. I was like, this is Flory's general plan. This is kind of what it is. I actually made a list on my phone, had a checklist. I checked 4 out of the 5 things off on it. There were options. But I really appreciated every moment, and I'm glad that the players enjoyed it and the GM enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you as the audience really enjoyed it, and that it didn't go in a way I didn't want it to. But hi everyone, I'm at Dirgedonovan on Twitter, or Praxgoeth as Meophoria. You used to see me around here on Twitch, your friendly neighborhood Prax. I get to play Flurry, and she is a lot of fun. And right now she has a conversation she has to have with Lucky that's probably not going to be a conversation that people are going to expect, but it's a conversation that has to happen. And she now has an entire phone worth of pictures of everyone who is at this Elysium who is supporting this liar of a prince who is violating every Ventrue standard. Oh, hi, I'm going to take that out and go with it. I'm going to curse you to your face. I'm going to curse this lying, manipulative Tremere to his face. I'm not going to, I will probably help kill him, but I might not do it myself. And I loved every minute. I loved watching Lucky have conversations with Yuma, and like that kind of Yuma being like, I don't want to step on your toes, but this is kind of where things are. And Lucky being like, oh, okay, I kind of am willing to work with this, and we'll see where it goes. And I loved the moment of like, I need a distraction. Okay, here. And I love that it's both, that if you look at this moment, you can kind of see how both Flurry and Lucky in different ways are trying to facilitate Artie getting as much information tonight as possible, because that's what they both believe, even though different impetuses for it, that's what their whole goal of going here tonight was, to get Artie to get information. Sorry, Artie, that you took a Ravnos and a Bruja to an Elysium.
No, the only way I could possibly get more information would be to have, on top of those two, a Nos and a Malkavian helping. That's the only way I could get more information. The only way.
That is fair. But you will find out next week what happens, because Flurry intentionally is like, oh, you left so many holes in this security, but I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to call the cops on you because I want to break up this Elysium. There are other things that she did purposely with that. And now she's going to go back to that really nice hotel that she booked herself into and make a very public display of being there.
Maybe also just having a nice dinner, nightcap,
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Just like, yeah. Speaking of dinner, Artie.
Spa night. It'll be great. But as for me, you can find me Saturday. Well, probably sometime during the week. I pop up in random TTR video game streams, chats, conversations about things. But you can find me definitely on Saturday as IGM A Song of Agapia's Fortune, where, as Pope said, the party is currently split in two, although he kind of undersold it, because I would like to point out that the party is split in two across a continent.
Oh.
It's not just like they're in separate portions of a building or even like a town. No. They're across a continent. And the evil that they're trying to deal with is apparently a festering lich problem. Also, apparently, I creeped my players out with a city that was too clean. I don't know why that we're concerned about that.
A festering lich problem is like, I feel like you could use like Neosporin maybe, or like some hydrogen peroxide on that.
Well, it might be like it might have been like a festering for like 15 years problem, 19 years problem. It's a long festering. And then we're back on Sunday over on my channel as I also get to GM Witcher Roads Home Season 5. It's our final season, and things have gotten really interesting. Some new friends, ? Have shown up.
It was like, where's my money? That's what that was.
It kind of was.
Yeah. You best better have my money, says our good near friend.
Yeah. And they say it in a very polite and mannerly way. But also people have invitations to tea. We'll see what happens with that. But then come back, definitely be here next week because Flory's gonna have some conversations. Flory has some plans and may or may not be willing to declare this entire court cursed.
Already started.
It's cursed. You're cursed. You're cursed. You're cursed. You're cool. You're cursed. I'm out.
And you get a curse. And you get a curse.
Look
and you
under
get a
your
curse.
seat. It's a curse.
No, did you not? Different reference, everybody. The more accurate
but-
reference is fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. Peace. I'm out.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
literally what Flory did.
But I am not. I do not see Flory being above scrawling the evil eye under the next Elysium's chairs, and then having them all look under it.
No, she's even cooler than that. You don't put it underneath the chair. You put it on the table and in the ceiling above their head because nobody ever looks up. They always look underneath the chair, but they never look up.
Drop wraiths. That's all.
Last but not least, Lucky.
I'm second to last because I feel like you're the ultimate.
Among the players.
All right, fine. I'm Trooper SJP. Hello, hello. You can find me. Today is Monday, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, over at High Shelf Collective for Cyberpunk Rig Ascension: Shadows of the Red Death, GM'd by Simon. Friday, you can find me over on my channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, Trooper SJP, where I'll be doing a solo session of Starforged, Iron Sworn Starforged. Gonna get a little bit pulpy about it. I'm very excited. And then Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, over at Balrog 1911, I'm in Tales from the Brinkwood, which is killing some vampire overlords. And then Sunday, I'm going to be over at Prax, the Go to the Smaforia's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern for Witcher Road's Home, where it's going to be fine because nobody's stressed out. Everybody's happy. There won't be any problems at all. And my love goes to Artie for like, nope, will not break protocol. Nope, won't do it. Won't do it. Nope, won't do it. Seems as if the Elysium is currently now ended. Now I will. So that one right there, I'm going to give because I feel like it's probably broken up at this point in time, right? So that one. I'm going to also give love to Prax. I don't even know, like the entire time. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just from point A to point Z, the gamma oot, that you get the love for the entire thing. That's just all there is to that one. Just Ravnos out. Yeah. Simon, I'm gonna give you love for what's in Alex's bag? That's what I'm gonna give you love for, because you're just like Alex. Yeah, and that's me, and I pass it over to Simon. I was playing Lucky, who, had a couple things to say. You don't get to give us presents that are already ours, and also, French princes handing out swords is not the basis. Wait, that's not a good basis for a form of government. That's just all I'm saying.
Indeed,
None of that.
Indeed.
More accurately, French princes sending little peons to foreign cities is not the basis of a government.
Are we sure that Fionn actually did send this one?
Well, probably not.
Why not
that's
both?
okay.
Why not both? Could be both. I mean, we don't know. It's a long trip from A to B, and Val can be in all sorts of places.
I would
I
just
have
like
so
to.
many questions.
I would just like to remind everyone that the prince did formally invite Arthur in front of the whole court tonight to, discuss politics with him, sometimes around a glass of sanguine.
Mm-hmm. So which I figure is probably like, great, you can just have that conversation. I think it'll be fine. What? I mean...
Thank you, everyone, for coming. So the results of the poll were in players you do not get to have bonus speed.
Sorry. But
I'm kidding.
but we get a
We'll
Ravnos
talk about
out.
that after. Yes. I have
But we get like the special Ravnos thing.
I have contacted 2 artists. Apologies while we were doing the outros. They're not going to answer them, but we'll see. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, that was my coup de coeur for tonight. The big fuck you to the whole establishment. Actually, I loved the entire because I won't lie, this Elysium has been in the making since the beginning of the game. However, it should have happened later. But due to some players' actions, the schedule was accelerated.
Good. That means they're not as strong. We'll just have to
There's
say.
a lot of I wouldn't say that necessarily. But that
That's
said,
a rush.
I'm Simon at Wondering DM. Thank you for coming, everyone. I know it's super late. You can find me again with Trooper over on High Shelf Collective on Wednesday for some Cyberpunk Red. Then on Saturday, technically we should be back for Scion. Next week we'll be here for Vampire, but there will not be a Cyberpunk next Wednesday. But there is one this one. So that's it for now.
Yes.
Otherwise, Sunday, Praxagorathus Mephoria's channel for Witcher Roads Home. I am now sepsis free, I believe.
You need one more roll.
Yeah, but it would have been the roll of that night. I don't know if we went to that night because I had to check.
We didn't get to
earlier.
that night. We stopped in the
Okay.
middle of
An interrogation
The situation.
situation.
That said, yeah. So I'll be there. And tea time. Gonna be tea time for real now. Again, thank you everyone for coming. Have a good night. Bye. Wrong thing.
Oh, I didn't.